20 minutes. Right, 14. I'll just turn this TV sound down. I wish I had friends. Hype is a reserve. Don't know. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to IIRL. And tonight it's F2. At the marvelous Portugal Grand Prix. Yeah. Yeah, I'll be leaving shortly. I believe in these guys shortly. It's been a long day. Well, it is. It actually is. It's that hard. I'm doing a stream tonight. Well, I have had a few drinks. Probably, they say when you drive, don't drink. Apparently, and I can see what it. Yeah. I'm probably not stream, but seeing as all our streamers are a bit too busy nowadays, I'll do it. Yeah, they had to resort to the part-time, well, the amateur. Good evening, Aquarius. Good luck to you tonight. Aquarius is our most dedicated reserve driver. So, who are we waiting on? We've had a couple of naughty no-shows. Drunk? What's drunk? Anyway, I'll leave you guys to it. And don't get any more records, Mr. Wiggle. Stop hogging the limelight. Give us a wiggle. Give us a record. Even, yeah. Yeah, give us a record. You know what I mean. Laters. And wait, volume settings. Do I sound clear on the stream? Because having a few technical problems. I'll just check my audio. Oh, okay, right. So I'm gonna have some rain, I hear. So put Aquarius down for 2 DNFs. That's the optimistic we like to see. So we've got some rain in the sprint, and we've got and it's torrential rain in the feature race. Okay. Let me mute myself. Don't want to hear myself twice, do I? Or 3 times. So we've got 14 tonight. Obviously, I would have been the 15th. But probably a good thing I'm not driving. They say when you drive, you shouldn't drink. So, and you shouldn't eat Sunday carveries either. So I think Mr. Ripply is going to be one of the first to start a lap. A very quick driver on his day. He has had a pole position before in F1. He's came in last minute, so we'll be just looking to probably just get used to the track. It's very different to time trial, and it's very demanding. All the corners are very, very tricky. So I applaud all the drivers who finished this race. Just breaks after the 100 board. And just drive off the track a little bit there. Might keep it in 5th. This corner. What gear would he go down to? 3rd gear. Traction. Ooh, what's his left? I'll send him an invite in a minute. This is probably the hardest corner in these F2 cars. It's so easy to cut that corner. And this one's very challenging as well. And it's going to be a wet race, so there's going to be a lot of carnage. I'm predicting carnage. It's been a pretty good lap from Mr. Ripply. Pole position obviously is 4 points. I think you can take the last corner just about flat out, but it is a challenge. And here's my teammate, IIRL Snacks. He's had a couple of pole positions in 82 this season. Has had a little bit of bad luck, but we all get that occasionally. We'll come back to Snacks. Little Sam, good to see Little Sam back. He's recently moved into a new home, so he's been very busy lately. Hopefully he's doing good. Maradako made his debut last week. He was doing well, and then I think Safety Car called him out. Mr. Wiggles, he's been setting all sorts of records in the F2. Very quick driver on his day, in F1 as well, especially over 1 lap. He's always up there. And Snacks does a 125.862 and puts himself on pole, and that's a good 3/10 margin over Ripply. Goes Tomino further back, 1.4 back. and low samp obviously can go a lot quicker than that. I don't think people in the F2 really do that much practice. It's just a bit of fun, to be honest. What is it? Welcome to the stream. How are we this evening? Ross managed to join back, which was what we like to see. And Maxter making his debut in the F2 tonight. Yeah, he actually only recently got the game, which is quite bizarre, because you know, obviously the new game will be out in a couple of months, so yeah. If it was me, I'd probably just say I'll just get the next game. And Maxter goes up to third, about 6 tenths off Mr. Ripply. Ripply SPL. Mr. Ripply. And unfortunately, all these drivers, they get one set for the 30-minute session, which sounds a bit mad, really, doesn't it? Sounds like Mr. Wiggles. Mr. Wiggles hates the rain, yeah. We'll find out later. Aquarius is about half second up on his previous time. It's so easy though to get it wrong. If I was out there, I'd be showing you how to get it wrong. Bit of controversy in the chat. And Aquarius burning off the fuel, and the tyres are coming good. He's 1.1 second up on his best time, and he can find a little bit more time. He might be able to get Greg, but if not, he's improving, and that's what you want to do. He is low on fuel as well, and he goes ahead of Lil Sam, and Ross goes quickest. Great effort there from Ross. Obviously the Trident team have got two very, very quick drivers. Mr. Wiggles, was he on a lap? Oh. And Deflated Wheat had a very good race on in AT1 on Thursday. He's competing to win the race in a 6-car battle for the win. One of the best finishes I've seen in a long time. And he's had a couple of he's had some strong performances. One of our most improved drivers, I would say. But we won't tell Greg that. Mr. Ripply, a few seconds down there. And we'll Deflated we go again. Yep, 3 times up. And obviously the best time in this session will be rewarded 4 points. and this will be the starting grid for the feature race. In the sprint race, the top 8 will be awarded points. Deflated, we just keeping the car within the lines, and this looks a very good lap. And puts himself up to 5th. Very good lap there. Is IIRL Greg, our spreadsheet genius. Always gets the tables done for us in record time. I used to do it like in an hour after the race, and I used to think, yeah, I've done that pretty quick. And he does it like in minutes. Little Samp chooses to go again. Good to see Lil Samp back. I believe it's his first ever F2 race tonight, so just slowly get into it. No expectations. Just have a good time. Just loses the rear slightly there. That corner is a bit of a pain. But like myself. Ooh, that was not good. Not sure who that was. Was it? I'm not sure who that was, but that was not good. Got a feel for Lil Simp there. I mean, he was a few times up, and that's the one thing you never want. You just never want someone to ruin your lap, you know. It's the worst thing you can do, really. It's worse than taking someone out, in my opinion. Ghost Domino comes to the line. It's had a few pole positions in no assist. He's had a few poles there. Hasn't managed to win as yet, but his day will come. Still 15 minutes to go, so I'm not sure if there's any rain in qualifying. I don't think there is. Aquarius currently in the top 10. Diego making his debut tonight. Hasn't set a time as yet. There's still plenty of time. And Ross, sometimes you get away with it, sometimes you don't. Would have improved by a 10th. The last corner is very tricky. You can take it flat if you just turn in at the right time, but it's definitely a challenge. Mr. Wiggles about a 10th and a half away from Ross at the moment, and Snacks for a couple of tenths. So it's very close to the front. The same old suspects are up the front. I think Ghost Domino may choose to pit here. I didn't even know that was a thing. Naughty. And not sure who that was. Ross. Yeah, Ross is on our in lap. I'll just let them know in the chat. Few people in the pits at the moment, and there's a few on outlaps. Little Samp is going again. Hopefully nobody holds him up this time. Or you might end up doing a DC. The famous birdie at Schumacher, Magny Cours 2000. Dirty air really affects these cars. Just slightly gets away with that. Yeah, I'm not sure if he's using a setup. But these cars are very understeery. And a lot of people like to use ABS because it's just easier to rotate the car. No Samp. Manages to improve by a big chunk in the end, 6 tenths. It's got to find more time though. Mr. Wiggles come back out. There we have Maradako. Yeah, a few drivers are finding that corner tricky. And just keeps it within the white lines, and this is going to be an improvement. 3 tenths improvement, and just gets himself ahead of Ghost Domino. And Greg, is he on a lap? Greg currently in 10th, moves up 1 position to 9th. I'm sure there's more time to be found there. We'll come back to Maxter Aquaris, a couple of attempts up. Currently in 11th position. A good time here could get him himself into the top 10. If he can just keep it all together. Half second up. Yeah, he could even jump Ghost Domino here. And maybe even get ahead of Maradako. But this will definitely put him in the top 10 though. If he can just hook up this last corner. Just nailed it, I feel. And just get himself in the top 10 ahead of his teammate Greg. And here we have Ross. Couple of corners to go. Let's see if we can take this last corner flat. Let's see if we hear any lefts. Not sure. But Ross improves by a massive 3 tenths. Great lap. And here's Mr. Wiggles, also 3 tenths up. Has he found any time in the last sector? And he's lost a tenth in the last corner. So, wow, what a fantastic lap from Ross. Almost 4 tenths ahead of Mr. Wiggles. A very strong team. And here we have Snacks in the Dams team. going solo tonight. And Snacks over one lap he's always up there. But that last corner in the rain is going to be something else. Snacks improves by 600s. He doesn't need to find much if he wants to get ahead of Mr. Wiggles. Ghost terminal is invalidated. So we have just less than 7 minutes to go. Maxter coming back out. Lil Samp on an outlap. The Bullet on an outlap. And Ross pits. And here we have Diego making his debut tonight. Be interesting to see how he gets on. He's a friend of the Bullet. The Bullet said he had a friend interested in F2, so I think he'd be quick in the assist tiers as well. Yeah. That's what happens. I compliment them and they spin. Little Samp a little bit up. Needs quite a lot of time if he wants to improve, but it's probably like a test session for Lil Samp, just finding his feet. Probably just wants to do a race where he makes no mistakes and maybe brings home the odd point here and there, you know. It's very competitive with Formula 2. Lil Samp improves by just less than half a second. Thank you for the follow, Diego. Good luck tonight, mate. And here's Diego's friend, the Bullet. Not sure if he's on a lap. Oh. Invalidated. The two Tridents are on outlaps. The Snacks comes back out. We have 4.5 minutes to go. And Greg is on a lap, a little bit down on his personal best. Needs a good 3-4 attempts if he wants to get himself in the top 10. Got a yellow flag in middle sector, it's been cleared up. Greg is 10th up. If he can keep this, he will jump ahead of his teammate, Aquarius. And Greg just jumps ahead of Aquarius, but not by much. And Aquarius starts another lap. What is the Bullet up to? And the bullet goes up to 6. Solid effort there. Mr. Wiggles. Going a bit slowly there. Just going on a lap now, so we'll come back to Mr. Wiggles. Diego, 10th up on his time, but we'll come back to Diego. Deflated weight, 10th down at the moment. Just means deflated we may start higher up in the sprint race. Nearly loses the car there. He's got a lot of oversteer on his setup. Deflated we goes 8th. We have Z Maddie. Currently in 6th position, which is pretty good. I know Mr. Wiggles is about to cross the line. Oh, I'll just see what Mr. Wiggles is up to. Needs a good 3-4 attempts to jump Ross. I'm not sure if he's on a. Haven't seen any purple sectors. And he improves by a couple of attempts and misses out on pole by 0.2 of a second. Very good effort from Mr. Wills. Ripley, a few attempts up. This corner, you got to be so patient. Diego retires from the session and Ripley comes to the line. Can he get ahead of Snacks? He nearly gets him, just a tenth shy. And 4 seconds remaining. Goes Tomino a 10th up. What can he do? And goes Tomino, unfortunately, he improves his time but doesn't improve his position. And we have Ross going for another lap. I will just come back to Ross and just see if anyone else is on a lap. I don't think so. Actually, Ghost Tomino's on a lap, so we'll come back to him in a second. There's a bit of traffic though. Oh dear, that's not good. Well, I think Ross has finished his lap. My mistake. Yeah, I think that's it, guys. That's qualifying over and done with. So Ross will get pole position and we'll start from first in the feature race. and has got himself 4 points for the Drivers' Championship. So, getting pole position, IRossJ, second Mr. Wiggles, third on his debut, Diego, fourth Snacks, fifth Ripply SPL, sixth Deflated Wee, seventh Z-Manny, eighth The Bullet, ninth goes Tomino, 10th Greg, 11th Maradako, 12th Aquarius, 13th Maxter, 14th Lil Samp, and oh yeah, one screenshot. Always helps, doesn't it? So some very good times there. 2.9 seconds covers the whole field. So it's very close. I'm not sure if we have a 5-minute break. I'm sure in recent times we've had 1 or 2 minutes max. But as you can see, it's raining, and that always throws a curveball in these races, especially in F2 when the cars are a lot heavier and harder to turn. It's going to be very interesting. It did rain also at Imola last week. I think the full feature race was wet, apart from maybe the last 5 laps. So they've had a little bit of experience at Imola, but this is going to be a massive challenge too. And they're going to get off straight away. Be interesting to see tyres are on. Yeah, wet tyres, yeah. So it's very wet. So obviously for the sprint race, the grid changes from what we saw in qualifying. So Greg will be starting from first, second goes Tomino, third The Bullet, fourth Z-Manny, fifth Deflated Wee, sixth Ripply, seventh Snacks, eighth Diego, and ninth Mr. Wiggles, and 10th Ross. But Ross will be starting from pole in the feature race. Maradako making his debut tonight. Hopefully he has a very good race. No, actually his debut was last week. But yeah, I'm sure he'd try and do good. Lil Samp's debut in F2 tonight. Hopefully it's a clean start. Obviously there's only 14 people, so you don't want to there's always a chance of points if you can get to the end. The top 8 will score points in the sprint race. First will get 15 points, second 12, and third will get 10. And the grid is stayed together, which is always good. So the cars forming to the grid. The start is always make or break. You can see how bad it is. So who will get the best start and lead into turn 1? We have 1 lights, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and we're away at Portugal. And someone's had a very good start at the back there. And it's been a great start from Ghost Domino, who gets ahead of Greg. Ghost Domino goes off though. And yep, he's still ahead. Very good start. And everyone's just trying to avoid contact. It so far looks pretty good. Haven't seen any incidents. Lil Sam Z Money is quite far back. But so far, oh, there's a car off in the background. I think it's the Bullet. And all the cars are pretty close together. And what is going on there? Ghost Domino has gone off. I don't know if he's got a puncture or something. Very bizarre. Mr. Wiggles is already up to 4th. And Ross is leading from 10th. This is very, very hard conditions, as you can see. This is... Look at this. It's unbelievable. It's like no grip out there. The cars are just not turning. And Ross, from starting 10th, is already leading the race. Unbelievable. Look at that, up 9 places. That's unbelievable. And everyone is just struggling to keep the car on the track. I think there's going to be a few penalties after this race. So Diego having a little look. And yes. And Ripley now. Very close to Diego. And yeah, this is very challenging conditions, as you can see. And Ross loses the place to Diego. Everyone is still finding where the grip is. A 3-second penalty for Ghost Domino. It's not what you want in a sprint race. But this is very tough, and the feature race is meant to be wet as well, so we've got some very challenging conditions here. And Diego picks up a 3-second penalty as well. Sometimes it's not just about being quick, you've also got to be nice and clean. But as you can see, these conditions are not easy for anybody. A 10-second penalty for Z Manny. And Z Manny's retired. Look how hard that last corner is. And it's very hard to keep the car on the track. Fast lap from Diego. And obviously you don't have to pit. Lil Samp pits. Quares down in 13th. And Diego now has pulled out a 1.4 second gap to Ripley in behind. And Ross has got himself ahead of Ripley. And just go, there's a little bit of contact there. Don't think there was any damage or anything like that. Very good racing. That's what you expect. And now Mr. Wiggles is up there now, behind his teammate Ross. And this Mr. Wiggles tempted to take it down the inside, thinks better of it. And Diego has managed to pull out a nice lead now. Obviously he's got the 3-second penalty, so this is helping him. Mr. Wiggles all over his teammate. But you can see how hard these conditions are. One mistake and it could be curtains. And Mr. Wiggles he's got a chance to get through here. And I believe everyone's using like 1-3 wings for this race, so you can understand why they're all finding it hard to keep the car on the track. Such tough setups to run. And here we have Maxter, who's having a great race and is 5th at the moment, ahead of Deflated Wheat. And it looks like the conditions are just starting to get a bit easier now. Everyone's starting to know where the limits are off the track. Aradako in 7th, Snacks in 8th. Hopefully he's able to make some progress. Ghost Tomino in 9th. I think someone's got a big penalty. Someone did have a 10-second penalty, but it's gone, thankfully. The Bullet in 10th. Just ahead of Greg. Greg's caught him up. Ooh, a little moment there. Mr. Wiggles gets a 3-second penalty, and Diego stretches his lead a little bit more. And Ross has managed to get ahead. Mr. Wiggles again. I can see this battle going all the way to the end. And fast lap of the race from Diego. And he's very much enjoying these conditions. And Snacks gets himself ahead of Maradako up to 7th. And we'll be trying now to get up there with Deflated Wheat. And Ripley's poured out a nice gap as well over Ross. And Diego is driving beautifully at the moment. But just has that 3-second penalty. So he'll be looking to try and get to the 3 seconds. But in these cars it's very tricky to pull out that sort of margin. Lil Samp not having the best of races, but it can all change. Greg having a good battle here with the Bullet. With Ghost Tomino even. The Bullet in the 9th, Maradako in 8th. Ross picks up a penalty. I think a lot of these guys will pick up penalties. Deflated Wheat. Right behind Maxter. Obviously these guys are teammates, so rule number 1, you don't hit your teammate. And both Trident cars are together as well. And both cars going off. And looks like Deflated Wee is going to get the move done. That was very, very close. And Ross keeps himself ahead. And Mr. Wiggles going into turn 1. And Diago now is nearly a second. He's nearly a penalty ahead. He's nearly got the 3-second margin, which is crucial. Mr. Wiggles has got ahead of Ross, but he's gone in deep. And I think Deflated, if these two keep battling, I think Deflated Wee's going to be up there with them very soon. These two having a great squabble for the podium. They both have 3 seconds, but I don't think that's going to matter at the moment. I think a lot of people are going to get the penalties. So, Deflated Wee, hopefully he can catch these, can catch Ross and Wiggles up, and then we can have even more fun. And it looks like Maxter's coming along with him. Diego is flying up the front. This is a fantastic first race so far. Big F2 fan. And Mr. Wiggles has managed to pull out a nice 1.3 seconds gap. Maybe they've just cooled the race off for a bit, and just so they can settle down and so they don't lose any time to Deflated Wee behind. And obviously he doesn't have a penalty at the moment, so Deflated Wee would be currently finishing 3rd if he doesn't pick up any penalties. Maxter having a solid race in 6th, with Snacks gaining on him very quickly. The Bullet in 8th. Greg has brought himself into the top 10 in 9th, and Ghost Tomno is 10th, with Aquarius gaining a lot of time on him in 11th. Hopefully he can have a good race. Maradako has pitted. You don't have to pit in these sprint races, but he chose to pit. And Maradako put another set of wets on as well. And DR going out, don't want to jinx him, but he is 3 seconds ahead. And as we can see, Deflated Wee has caught up with Ross. And fast lap of the race from Diego. And he's just a 10th away now from being 3 seconds clear. And then the penalty no longer counts. And Deflated Wee having a look into turn 1 ahead of us. It's a very good move and showing some great pace. And Deflated Wee maybe then looking to try and get up there with Mr. Wiggles. Showing some very good pace today. But Ross is coming back. And has Ross gone in a bit deep there? That nearly came together. They avoided contact. And Deflated Wee is back through again. Oh, Mr. Wiggles just had a little moment there, but managed to save it. But Diego just needs to find a few tenths. Mr. Ripply, sorry, I keep messing his name up. He's on a very good lap here. And trying to keep within the 3 seconds. And he's doing a great job here, Ripley. New fastest lap of the race from Diego. 37.6. But he still hasn't got the 3 second margin. And will Ross be able to retake deflated wheel? Doesn't look like it. Looks like there's more chance deflated wheel catching at Mr. Wiggles. But Ross very close there into turns 3. Squirming away on the rear. You need very good car control in these conditions. Mr. Wiggles again, losing it. I thought I'd just cut back to it. And having a nice sideways moment through there as well. These tyres aren't enjoying this. Absolutely pushing to the limit. Sliding all over the place. Yeah, I think the tyres are not enjoying this phase of the race. And another fast lap from Diego. And quickly beaten by a 10th by Ripply. And it looks like Ripply, if he doesn't pick up any penalties, could win this race. And if Mr. Wiggles was already struggling, he's going to be struggling even more now with deflated weight on his back. Mr. Wiggles seems to be struggling. I think maybe he's got too much tyre pressures are too high, maybe. Maybe he just pushed him too hard early in the race when he was fighting Ross hard. We've still got 3 laps to go. This is our closest battle now. Mr. Wiggles having another moment. Taking different lines, as you can see. So many lines you can take at this track. You want to stay off that inside curb though. And Mr. Wiggles has another moment. And deflated weight, is he close enough to maybe have a look into turn 1? And Ross is still there as well. We have a yellow that's been cleared up. And 2 laps to go. And the gap between Ripply and Diego has come right down to 2.1 seconds. So if Ripply can just not pick up any penalties, he's going to win this race. One of the back markers gets out of the way. That's very nice of them. Let's have a little look how Mr. Wiggles is getting on. Upshifts for traction. It's just pulled away a little bit from deflated wheel, so yeah, very good. You can just hear them upshifting for traction. Although there is no traction. Maxter is closing in as well. Has snacks behind him still. Oh, Ghost Tomino has spun, but he is lapped. Don't know if Snacks is close enough. Maxter trying to break the toe. Don't really want to be doing that in the wet. And Ross picks up another penalty. Oh, how close can you get? Will Snacks send it down inside here? Thinks better off it. And Maxter drifting. The tyres, they might put the pressures down for the next race. I believe it's raining in the next race as well, so... But this is good practice for the feature race. And the Bullet in the last points position at the moment in 8th. Obviously only the top 8 score. So Aquarius unfortunately not going to be picking up any points. And Greg, Maradako, Lil Samp and Ghost Tomino, but I applaud them for sticking in there to the end. And Ripley is caught up so quickly to Diego. Mr. Wiggles has managed to pull out a nice gap from Deflated Wee, but Mr. Wiggles just have that penalty. And the question is, can Deflated Wee even jump up? Yeah, looks like he's going to jump up to 3rd. But these two are just so far ahead. Unbelievable. That's nearly 18 seconds ahead. And Ripley, although Ripley doesn't have to get the move done on the track, he's closing in. It's the last lap, of course. There is a back marker up ahead. And Ripley, who is a reserve, looks like could win the sprint. Oh, Diego had a moment. And Ghost Tomlin retired. Obviously, it's the last lap, so it doesn't matter. And Ripley, what a fantastic race. He's made no mistakes. He's picked up no penalties. And is going to win the Portugal Grand Prix. The sprint race, anyway. Very good. Congratulations, Ripley. 2nd, Diego. And Mr. Wiggles comes around the last corner. Had a few little scares. But I think... Oh, is he going to keep it? No, Deflated Wee gets it. But look how close that is. Like 5 thousandths of a second. Mr. Wiggles just missed out on keeping 3rd. That's how close it was. And DOS, of course, is enabled after the race is finished. And the Bullet gets the last points. Aquarius. It's good practice for everyone. I hear that the feature race is going to be wet, so... Unbelievable drive, Ripley. Unbelievable. Congratulations. You've done so well to claw the gap. And 10th is Greg. He may be quick at the spreadsheets. But also quick to finish the race. Sorry, Greg. You'll get me back for that. I know you will. Cheeky devil. And he gets the fastest lap. Obviously he's on soft tyres. So, yeah. So, yeah, if the next race is wet, Greg's just got himself a nice race record there. Cheeky. Driver of the day goes to Diego, but for me, Ripley did an incredible comeback drive there. Picked up no penalties. takes home the 15 points and takes home some of the champagne. Don't waste it all. Drink some of it. GG's to the top 3. So Ripley wins the race, Diego in second, third deflated weight by 5 thousandths of a second, ahead of Mr. Wiggles. Ross in 5th, 6th Maxter, 7th Snacks, and 8th the Bullet. And then the top 8 obviously all get points. And for the feature race will be the grid from the qualifying. So the host, which is Greg, will be doing a custom grid, getting all the cars into the right places, we hope anyway. And we will be back for the feature race very soon. Oh, I mean, look at that. It looks even worse. It looks worse than it did before. Oh, I think they were meant to be having a 5-minute break. Might be doing a restart, maybe. We think Maradaka might have pressed A. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. Oh, Snacks has been disqualified. That's not what you want. I think some people were probably just having a comfort break. And unfortunately someone's pressed A, and that's going to absolutely destroy Snack's start now. Yep, it's unfortunate. It always has. It's happened. It always happens. There's always one person who presses it sometimes. You know, it's the way it is. So I'm guessing everybody's on the wets again. It does look, the conditions do look even worse, to be honest with you. It's a very quick formation lap. There is the punter. Be interesting to see if anyone's using like medium traction or even 4 traction, if they get good starts. I know Maradaka uses 4 traction, I believe. Could be wrong though. Hopefully they can all keep it clean again. Going into turns 1, 2 and 3. I wish Snacks luck though, especially after getting his tyres are going to be cold. 5 lights. And away we go for the feature race at Portugal. And Ross has had a fantastic start. And Diego up to second, Mr. Wiggles third. And so far so good. And Snacks didn't actually have too bad a start, fortunately, which is good. There's been no contact so far. And Ripley there just breaking a tad late. Loses a couple of positions. Oh, who's that? Mr. Wiggles. He's hit the wall very hard. He must have picked up damage. And someone else has lost it as well. Wow. Ooh. It's a big moment there. Very tough conditions these. Can lose it anywhere here. Look how bad it is. And Mr. Wiggles has retired. The championship leader has retired. And the VSC. That's so unfortunate. Can always happen in these conditions. When will the VSC end? And Diego speeding under the VSC has picked himself up a drive-through, I believe. Yeah, a drive-through. That's pretty much going to ruin his race completely. And Ross leading the pack by a second. Ahead of Deflated Weight. I'm sure that's going to be an incredible battle. Ripley there as well, and Snacks. Snacks with the cold tyres didn't really lose much time, to be honest. So I think he was dreading the start, and I was kind of worried for him with the cold tyres. And yeah, Diego has to service drive-through. He's going to lose a lot of time, probably come out last. We've all been there. I've definitely been there. Ross going off the track there. Might have got a warning for that. Having a drift there into turn 1. And Deflated Weight, he seems to really like these conditions. He seems to be really smooth. And obviously he didn't pick up any penalties in the sprint race, and neither did Ripley. And good to see Snacks with some good pace at the moment. Doing well in 4th, the Bullet in 5th, Maxter in 6th. Just goes a little wide there, a bit deep. Greg in 7th, having a better race. Little Semp in 8th, keep it up. Maradako in 9th. Unfortunately pressed 8. Probably could just give him a warning for that. We've got Ziamani in 10th. And Diego comes out in 11th, and Aquarius has had to pit as well, so it's unfortunately not having the best of starts. Ross has got a nice lead at the moment of 1.5 seconds, ahead of deflated weight, but it's a long way to go. And I think some of these will even try to get to the end, but I'm not sure if you have to pit. I don't think you have to pit if it's raining. Ripley very close to deflated weight. I think these races are about not making mistakes and not picking up any track limit penalties. But that's not the line you really need to be taking, but it's probably the best really for these conditions. Not everyone's taking that line, of course. And Ross has opened up a 2-second lead at the front. And Zimari having a wheel spin there, very close to Maradako. Very hard to brake in these conditions, especially if you're not using ABS. Very challenging. And this is our closest battle on the track at the moment. We also got Greg very close to Maxter. I expect Diego to catch these two up. He's got really good pace in these conditions. And Ross now 2.5 seconds ahead of deflated weight. He's pushing. And Ripley very close now to deflated weight. I just believe it's just about not picking up any penalties. I mean, I think you're doing well. Let's see what line Ripley takes through turn 1. Deflated weight went off a little bit. But Ripley driving very nicely. Taking different lines. We have Snacks. Snacks has lost it, unfortunately, in turns 2. He was doing so well, but still a long way to go. I'm sure you can get those places back. And Ross now 3.3 seconds ahead in the lead. Has had a fantastic start to this race. Oh, that's a moment for deflated weight. Takes out one of the polystyrene boards. It's just got one on his back of the car, but I don't think you pick up any damage from those. I don't even think you get floor damage. Yeah. But just goes to show how hard these conditions are for everybody. Bullet up to 4th, Max to 5th, Greg in 6th. Snacks obviously has lost a few positions. Has picked up a 3-second pedal. I think he's got damage as well, so I think he's going to have to pit. So Lewis Sam will just have to be a bit careful here, not to run into him. Oh, Snacks! And goes in to the wall. It's definitely going to have to pit. He was doing so well. And Ross is just flying up ahead. And goes to Tomino, has left the session. He'll have to quickly rejoin. It'll be interesting to see what he says about that. And Snacks is retired in the pits. It's unfortunate. I just always think you should always try to get to the end, because you never know what can happen. Safety car can come out and race it back on, you know. Just look at those conditions, how bad they are. And Ross is flying at the front. Lil Samp now up to 6, having a really good race. Keep it going. And Diego now making some progress since serving his drive-through. That's just something you just hate to do. It's getting drive-through penalties. Absolutely destroy your race, you know. Maradako gets a 3-second penalty. It's just ahead of Diego here. A faster lap off the race from Ripply. It seems like his tyres take longer to work, but once they do, he does really well. So similar to the last race. Diego will be looking to get Maradako into turn 1. Goes off the track a little bit. Has a nice run on Maradako. Who wants the corner most? They both want it. But Diego has the inside line, but it's not over yet. Very good battle there. Oh, Diego's lost it. Diego, did he get damage? Just went onto the curb and got wheel spin, and it sent him into the wall. I'm not sure if he got damage. I'm guessing he got damage. And Maradako will say thank you very much. Thank you very much. You wouldn't be going ha ha ha. No. Oh, come on, Snacks. We all have bad races. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. Just, you know, these are very hard conditions, you know. You were unlucky with the DSQ on the formation lap. But we'll go again next week. And Ripply now is taking some time out of Ross. It seems like Ross is running higher tyre pressures. Because Ripply, it takes a while to get his tyres into the working range. And once they're there, it seems to be going really well. Nah, F2's fun. Diego's retired from the race in the pits. So 10 remain. If you finish, you get a point. If you're in the chat, you're not getting a point. Sorry. The bullet is 4th. Let's go down the order. Maxter in 5th. Lil Samp in 6th. Maradako in 7th. Z-Manny in 8th. Oh, Greg's lost it. Greg is in 9th. Having a little spin. And 10th for Aquarius is in the points. And Ross sets the fastest lap of the race. 38.0. As you can see, the fastest laps are all pretty close. The top 3. It's very close to the fastest laps. And Ross is still got a nice lead. Let's have a bit of onboard footage here from Ross, who seems to be doing a lot better in this race than in the sprint race. He leads 3 seconds ahead of Ripply. just keeps the car within track limits there. Seems like he's a 10th up on this lap. Z-Maddie just had a small moment there. And Ross 2 tenths up on this lap against Ripply. A new personal best from Ripply. And a new personal best from Deflated Wheat. And they're all setting quicker times in the bullet. It's a little bit slower in the last sector, but it's very competitive. The top 4, Maxter having a very good race. Perhaps he might want a seat in F2, who knows. And Lil Stamp having a very good race. If you're in it, you can win it, you know. Daco 6 tenths up on his best lap, goes off the track, but he's improving. Z-Maddie in 8th. Greg, after his little spin on the previous lap, is in 9th. And Aquarius in 10th. The gaps are quite big on track at the moment, but that can all change. Our closest battle looks like it's going to be between Ripply and Deflated Wee. The top 4 don't have any penalties as yet, which is very important if you're wanting to get yourself on the podium. A 3-second penalty for Greg, and they're soon stacking up, aren't they? That's 6 seconds now for Maradako, 3 for Z-Maddie, 6 for Greg, 5 seconds for Aquarius, and 3 for Maxter. New fastest lap of the race from Ripply. So he's still feeling good on those tyres. And if you can keep yourself within the 3 seconds, then there's always pressure on the car ahead not to pick up any penalties. Because once you pick up the penalty, then you have to kind of not you'll have to do a faultless drive. And the gap is 2.8 with Deflated Wheat a further couple of seconds behind. And obviously Ripply managed to win the sprint race, and he's going for back-to-back wins. Driving very, very nicely. And he's taking Deflated Wee with him. The gap at the front is staying around 3 seconds, which is critical at this point in the race with 8 laps remaining. At the understeer. A new personal best from Deflated Wheat. Just very consistent driving going on. The field is quite spaced out at the moment. Apart from Ripply, apart from the top 3 really. But you never know, you might shoot back and you might just see someone lose the car or spin. It can happen at any point. So the gap between Ross and Ripply is 2.6 seconds. Very close. All it takes is one mistake, one bit of wheel spin, or a bit of oversteer, or you just miss your braking by a fraction, and yep, you can lose so much time. And Ripply now has pulled away from Deflated Wee by quite a lot. Purple middle sector there. and deflated weight. Maybe he's just gonna settle for third place in the race. There's still a good few laps to go yet, but I think Ripley's on for a new fastest lap here. A new fastest lap by 3/10. He's pushing. And still got a good 6 laps to go. So it's all to play for here. And deflated weight unfortunately picks up a 3-second penalty. But he has such a lead over the bullet. I kind of was him out for the win now. But anybody can pick up penalties though. Very, very good drive from Ross. It's got to be said. Wasn't so competitive in the sprint race, but so far tonight has been on it. And if Ross was to win this race, he would be in a commanding lead in the championship. And we have a yellow flag. Not sure if it's going to be a full safety car or even a VSC. It's just going to be, yeah, just a yellow flag. New fast lap of the race from Ross, 37.5. And Ripley still putting in very good laps. Z Mally unfortunately retired from the race. So we only have 9 people left in the race. And, yep, very, very hard conditions. 6 drivers with penalties. And the top 2 just desperately not getting any, just trying to avoid not picking up any penalties. Ross coming up to one of the back markers. Coming up to Aquarius. And Ross now beginning to slide on his tyres. But maybe Ripley will be struggling as well. Aquarius nicely gets out of the way. Very respectful among the drivers. And Ripley is catching up with Ross. And very nice of Aquarius to pull over. Doing his tyres no good, but very good to get out of the way. And the gap between Ross and Ripley is 2.3 seconds, and it's coming down all the time. Let's see how the car is behaving with Ripley. We saw Ross was just sliding a little bit through some of the corners. How is Ripley doing? It's already taken a couple of attempts out of Ross in sector 1. Ooh, Ripley goes off there but gets away with it. Might have got a warning. We'll have to see in the coming laps. Lap 15. With 4 laps to go. And it looks like Ripley's got very good traction. Don't see any like little moments. And Ross has poured out a couple of attempts on this lap. And just a few laps remaining, and the gap is consistently staying around the 2.5 second mark. But they're both still putting in really good, strong laps. Deflated Wee back in third. It looks like he's just going to try and bring the car home for third. Has to watch out from the Bullet though, because he's still putting in great times. And we'll be trying to maybe even get a podium if he can just keep this pace going. And a new personal best from the Bullet. Maxed on for a good result. For a good 5th place would be a great result for him. Lil Semp as well. 6. Maradako. Obviously made him first day, which, you know, everyone does it at some point. Greg looking to get himself a good few points. Aquarius down in 9th. Be good to see if you can get some points. So if you finish, you get points. So it's worth getting yourself to the end. And as ever, the gap between Ross and Ripley staying around the 2.5 second mark. And a new fastest lap of the race from Ripley. So he's not giving up. And why would you give up when you're this close? Has a little slide there. A little tank slap up. But corrects it very nicely. There's a slight chance the Bullet could get deflated away as well. There's not much in it now. Oh, actually, no. Yeah, now I've done that. Yeah, it's 15 seconds behind. My bad. And the gap has come down now to 1.8 seconds. And Ripley has decided to absolutely send it. And he's taken so much time out of us. Maybe he's just been conserving his tyres the whole race. And just decided now he's going to absolutely push. It's incredible. Gap now 1.7. And a new fastest lap of the race again from Ripley. Is there enough laps remaining to close the gap? Can all change. How is Ross doing? Oh, Ross has a little moment there, but corrects it, and it's personal best, one of the best sectors of the race. And the gap is back up to 2.2 seconds. So, and Ross now putting out a nice gap again. Maradaka with another penalty. And Ross is on another good lap himself. So, can he retake the fastest lap? Which is 2 points for fastest lap. And he's poured out a very good, nice gap here. And Is that a new fastest lap? Yep, new fastest lap. 1:37.3. And Ross wants the full amount of points. And what a fantastic drive from the top two. And Ripley, unfortunately, has picked up a time penalty. And Ross is just absolutely just put in a fantastic display. No mistakes today in the feature race. Just got to bring the car home. And doing a fantastic race. As I said, no mistakes. Had a great start to the race. Managed to pull out a gap early on. And it's just drove the most perfect race. And in the toughest of conditions. And that's what you got to do. And Ross now comes to the final corner. And is going to win the Portugal Grand Prix. And sets the fast lap of the race to get the extra 2 points. Congratulations to Ross. Second place, we have Ripley. Third, picking up another penalty, but that one manner is deflated wheat. That's a fantastic top three. Great job for the guys on the podium. And the Bullet will come home in 4th place. That's very good points for the Bullet. Great job. And Maxter having a little slide. Just think the tyres are hard enough. Some big gaps in this race, unfortunately. But Maxter comes home in 5th. And Lil Samp, it was his first race in F2 tonight. And you got to say he's done absolutely fantastic. Put on a great show. Maradako with another 3-second penalty. Well done to Lil Samp. Good points for him. And our spreadsheet guy, Greg, who's probably doing the spreadsheet while he's driving, knowing Greg. And Greg will come home in 7th. 9 finishes today in the feature race. Maradako in 10th. Oh, in 8th even. And Aquarius will come home in 9th. Well, you got to say driver of the feature race, faultless drive from Ross, no mistakes, picked up no penalties, 25 points for the win, 2 points for the fastest lap, picked up no penalties in the toughest of conditions. Well done, Ross, you drove superbly in that race, and to the guys on the podium who done brilliant. So Ross takes the win, Ripley in 2nd, Deflated Wee 3rd, 4th the Bullet, 5th Maxter, 6th Lil Samp, Greg in 7th, Maradako in 8th, Quaris in 9th, and Z-Maddie unfortunately had a DNF, Diago DNF, Snacks, Mr. Wiggles goes to Domino, or couldn't make it, unfortunately. Not able to view people. Ross did up the 2 warnings. Ripley had 2 warnings. They're pretty good. that was very enjoyable. Hopefully we can get some. I think we've got some more people joining for the F2 for next week. Hopefully we might even get like a 4 grid, which is what we want really. Just want 4 grids for the F2. So there you have it. The Portugal Grand Prix for the F2. The sprint race was very exciting. The start of the feature race was quite challenging, and then in the latter stages it was between Ross and Ripply, who battled it out to the very end for the win. Congratulations to the top 3 for the podium, and tomorrow night we do it again for AT2, and it's looking like it's gonna be a good championship fight this season. And you can join me again. I'll be doing the stream again. Exciting stuff, I know. And yeah, hopefully we can have maybe similar conditions. I wouldn't mind if it's dry tomorrow, because I think you get to see the best of everyone's standards in the dry. So we've had one wet race, we don't want another one. I think Aquarius agrees with me. He definitely wants a dry race tomorrow. Yeah, dry race, dry trainers, you know, dry car. So tune in tomorrow night at 7:30 PM UK time. It's definitely not going to be at the time of the Australian Grand Prix, so that's always a good thing. So thank you for watching all, and yep, we'll do it all again tomorrow, and we'll see you then. Take care.